Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Zentangle original Tangle, IndyRella, just meaning it came from the people at Zentangle. Now, I have pre-done my four corners and my border, and this is an interesting tangle. I'm going to pick a corner to start, and you know, there are certain tangles that you say, oh, it looks like fill in the blank, and then it just sticks with you forever. So I'm going to let you pick what I'm going to try to, I'm going to not say anything, except that this is a really cool tangle, and it's a nice fill in, and you could consider it a texture as well. All right, so this one starts with, it's kind of, you get to determine, oh, I'm going to put it in the middle. Oh, I'm going to try something different. All right. So you get to determine how you want to do this tangle. It needs a direction to go. All right. So you start off with a dot, and then we're going to kind of like aura half the dot, I'm going to say, or you could think of it that way, or we're going to put a curved line around that dot. And then a little bit bigger one. And now this is where you can kind of decide, I think I'm going to go maybe one bigger and then taper them down. Then you can go smaller into dots. So the graduation of those little curved lines is up to you. Now, I'm going to put in, no, let me do it this way. So then what we do is we just kind of fit them next to each other. I'm going to put one here. And then, I got to move it a little bit. Then the trick is we want to put them kind of close to each other, but we are not going to run them into each other. It's kind of like we build this invisible barrier between them. And then, so then I would maybe fit one right in here very carefully. And sometimes the graduation of these can be a little bit modified just depending on the area that you're working to fit in. I'm going to put one here because I decided, I'm going to have these maybe fitting in, kind of going towards the center. I usually have mine going kind of in one direction. And also, sometimes I think I should try to do them a little bit bigger. And honestly, this is pretty much it. So, like I said, whatever direction you want, and I do have an example of something, I'm going to put one here. And sometimes it's just nice to, you just kind of find a place to start. This one, I always need to just go slower. So like, I'll, put a couple and then fit them in. And it's neat, so this isn't necessarily like doing, an aura, or you have to worry about that space. Just want to have some space in between them. And let's just see what happens. And there, and then, let me go the other direction, because I was kind of had this picture in my head of having them kind of going towards the center. But then, like here, so I was like, okay, they're just going to pick a place. And I'm going to put one in. And then, I think maybe here I'll just come back a little bit. And it's just, like I said, it's just a really neat tangle. And, and you can use it as because it is kind of a texture as well as it is a tangle. I mean, well, most of them are, right? See, and I like it when it happens like this. It's like, ooh, look it will fit just ever so perfectly right in there. Like so. That's where it's neat. And, and so you just, one of these where you fill it as much as you want, or if you do something like this, watch, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go backwards. Because that second one was just a little bit too big. Fixed, and you know, who would know? all kinds of fun things that we can do with that. Now, once you have your area filled in as much as you want, yeah, that looks good. Ooh, see, that kind of made it look like a star. I feel like I need to have, okay, let's do 2 more. And yes, I'm feeling one needs to go right there. Yeah. All right. And there we go. And I put some, actually, I mean, you can put as many, little dots. I seem to kind of like to do, 2 or 3. It just, it depends. You get the feel of it, and then you just kind of go with it. So for shading, this one is kind of neat. What I like to do is basically pick a side, and I put some graphite, and let's see. And actually, I'm gonna use the same side and just, turn the tile so that way I'm always getting that same side. If you want to pick a center and have them, have it, it could go opposite way, something like that. It's entirely up to you. If you are new to Zentangle or haven't watched the videos look at how I'm looking in the camera now. It's like, oh, look at how neat that looks even without doing any smudging with the tortillon. And this, because they're kind of small, I'm not going to go wide with the spreading out of the graphite, but you can see how it makes an enormous difference. And I'm kind of sort of doing just the pushing like up and down like this, but I do have just a smidge of a circle, because I don't want it to go all the way, because otherwise you'd just be coloring them gray. What I was starting to say was we don't necessarily worry about with shading, worry about light source or, and putting too much thought into it. It's just, ooh, how's it going to pop? Okay. And what effect do I want to have on it? Because, when we put it, so all of a sudden, when we put the graphite down and even on just the one corner, oh, it seems to have rounded it. Now, could I put it on the opposite side as well? Sure. Let's, maybe I'll do that. Yeah, we'll try a couple just to see. I mean, I kind of know what it'll turn out like. Well, you know what? Let me do that with these, because I do have an example. Oh, and I have another idea. Where we're using highlights as well. Oops. Now, the trick with this is going to be, we want to have we don't want these to turn all gray. So really have to be careful to leave some of whatever your original tile color is. And actually, this might be a smart idea, because like that one I didn't put any graphite on it, but I had some on the tortillon still. So sometimes it's not a bad idea to just use that. Ooh, and look at those. They're just, ooh, they look like little gnocchis. Now, I said I wasn't gonna, I like that idea better than what I normally have in my head for these. So there we go. Yeah, he's like, oh, I said I wasn't gonna put a thought in your head. I should have said at the beginning, put in the comments, what do you think these look like? They kind of look like seashells too a bit. All right, so there's that. Now let me share with you. This is one I did a long time ago, and it's on a Renaissance, so it's on a tan tile. And I did light graphite on the one side. Honestly, it's like, ooh, I could go a little bit darker. Let's see what that does to see what that did? Now this one, I decided to do one side with the graphite on the left and the white highlight on the right. And then over here, I flipped it. Did I? Let's see. Oh, white's on the left. Oh yeah, and so here the highlight is on the left. Yeah, so I kind of picked the middle and you know, had them going. So yeah, so see how neat it looks if you just add even a little bit more. So it's fun to play, but you know, we don't go lighter. It's always with the graphite, since we don't put erasers in our kit. So you can always start light and then, you know, add some and go dark. This makes a neat effect. It's an embossing kind of look. So it looks like they're popped off the page. Now, I also want to try with this, and also to show you, so you can use the white charcoal pencil even if you're, you know, this is on a white tile, but sometimes, let's just see. Ooh, look at what that does. So I'm just putting with the white graphite, and I'm just basically drawing a line. Now, there is a technique called the sparkle, and on some of my other videos, or if you've been to the classes, you know that's a technique where we leave out a little bit in the middle, but that's usually when we're coloring something in solid. This, you know, you're not. I mean, you could. Well, now I take this back. You could, when you're doing these lines, you could leave a little gap, because we do that. There's one called Xander. And I don't have a sample of that handy where I could show you, but we do that where we're drawing a line, straight line, you know, leave a gap and maybe a dot or two, something like that. So you could do that with this, but these are so small, sometimes it's a little difficult. But if you have one of these white charcoal pencils, you can just draw right over those lines and, whoops, sorry, got right off the thing there. And look at how that makes it shiny. That is just so cool. And I feel like adding a little bit of something. Okay, so the last video that I did was called Star Map, and I finished off the edge, because usually, I mean, my objective is, of course, just to, you know, do the tangle, show ya, and that's it. But I'm just feeling this extra need today, and so there we go, a little bonus. That was what I was using, is a General's pastel bright blue chalk pencil. And actually sometimes I did this with another tangle where I mixed, there was like a little bit darker blue, and so I just did that, or I just scribbled, and then using a separate tortillon, just added some of that extra, and it really, really looked neat. But this blue was just sitting here staring me in the face, so I felt like I needed to, it wanted to get in on the action. So I let it. You know, could add a little, you know, coming in like so. Anyway, how fun is that? All right, if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up are much appreciated. And if you liked it enough to see more and, you know, get a notice when I put more videos up, hit the subscribe button, and then also click on the bell next to that, so that way you can select the options for notification. In the description box, as I mentioned, I will put my step out for this, and there's also ways to connect. So I'm still doing free classes on Thursdays. I'm Eastern time, so 11 and 7. We'd love to have you join in. We have a lot of fun. And that's it. So yeah, ways to connect, especially for that. And yeah, with that, I wish you happy tangling. Enjoy this.